that it is going to be either all real numbers or your negative infinities. So for all of these that have a horizontal asymptote, that's what your domain will be. Your range is where it gets a little weird. Your range is your y. So if I start at my asymptote and look where this graph is continuing, this graph is continuing up, but it started close to the asymptote. It didn't touch the asymptote, but it started close to it. So I'm going to take that -1 and put it in a parenthesis, and it goes to positive infinity. Come down here to this other one. First thing you want to start with is that asymptote. This one hits the y-axis at the 2. And remember, I told you domain is your x's, but for anything with a horizontal asymptote, it's either all real numbers or it's your infinities. Range, the easiest way to think about that, of course, it's your y's. And if you start where the asymptote is and then look where the rest of the graph goes, this one is also going up. So it starts at that 2, that asymptote of that 2, and goes to positive infinity. Infinities always have a parenthesis, and since that graph does not touch that 2, this will also have a parenthesis. Now, we didn't do a graph where, because both of those were going towards the left, but if you have a graph that looks like this, it's just going a different direction. Remember, you still have your horizontal asymptote, but if they ask for the domain, anything with a horizontal asymptote, the domain is all real numbers or your negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, I'm going to sketch another one right here. If I have this graph, and if I have, that's my horizontal asymptote when y hits the -2. And then I have a graph. We'll just make it do this. So we haven't had any like this, and they want to know the range. So what I told you to do is highlight where the asymptote is and look to see where the graph keeps going. So this one is going down. Down makes you think of negative infinity. Negative infinity goes first, and then you put that -2, and they both will have parentheses. So that's just a real quick review on that. So let's see what we got on this next page. Okay, this is the stuff that's kind of on the board. So if you look at this first thing right here, you have a vertical stretch of 3. And then if you look at up here in the exponent, it is, remember, going opposite. So it's going to the right one. Okay, let's do the next one. Oops. So if you take that right there, that is a vertical compression or compress of a half. If you look up here in the exponent, it's the opposite. So that's like a -2. Negatives go to the left 2. And then at the very end, what you see is what you get. So since it's negative, you're going to go down 12. So let's do this next one. So we are going to have a vertical stretch at 2. And I forgot to reflect on the x-axis with that negative. And then if you look at the very end, what you see is what you write. It's going to go up 4. Okay, next one. So because they gave us what they did, that 2 of x, the formula we're going to end up using is going to look like this. I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 because that's already your base. It's already in there. We don't have to worry about that. And let's see what they told us what we can do, okay? So write a function that has been shifted to the right 3, okay? Shifted to the right 3. So think about that. When we did that before, that's our h. To the right means it's a positive 3. Then we're going to go shift up 8. That's our k. Up means positive. So when you put all of this back in there, we don't really need this a that we have right there. So I can technically just get rid of it, okay? So now you can say g of x, or oh, they did say f. I should have done that. Instead of a g, I should have put an f right there anyway. So f of x equals the 2 they gave us from right there. Then you're going to have x, the minus is with the formula, and just stick your 3 in there, and then plus 8. And that is the answer. Okay, I want to, what do I want to do? I'm trying to see how many pages there are. Let's do one more and then we can stop. Same formula, it looks like. It says write a function that has been reflected over the x-axis. So when we have that reflected over the x-axis, we know we're talking about a negative there. Okay. Vertical compression by a factor of 1/3. So if I put all of that together, a is going to be a negative 1/3. Then it says shifted down 6, so that's my k. When I think of down, you think of negative. So let's put all that back in up there. You still keep that 2, but this time we did have an a, so I'm putting that a back in so I know where to put it for this one. So f of x equals, there's our a, negative 1/3. Then I have the 2. I don't have to worry about the h, so this time I can get rid of that. And just say it's an x up there. And then minus 6. And that's your answer.